on Talk TV. Now, Rishi Sunak has stressed the need to forge a close and candid relationship with US President Joe Biden ahead of their White House meeting later this week. The Prime Minister will also watch a baseball game with business leaders in Washington, D.C. ahead of holding talks. What can we expect from the Sunak visit to the Oval Office and beyond? Jon-Christopher is White House correspondent and commentator for Real Political News. John, good afternoon to you.
Lovely to see you, Ian. It's our first time, and I'm honored to be with you.
Hey, and likewise, lovely to have you on the program. And let's just pick up on something about this this baseball game as well. I'm told it's kind of tradition that when either a president or a visiting politician goes to a baseball game in this capacity, they actually throw a ball. Is that right?
Well, he might do the first pitch. I don't know if he's been warming up on the sidelines, in the bullpen, as we call it.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if he could get it over the plate, and I'm sure he's a relatively fit fellow. I'm sure he can do that with a little coaching.
Yeah, so there's been some embarrassing scenes over the years, though, hasn't there, in that? I think Reagan did quite well when he gave it a go. Wasn't he the first,
I'm not going to get into each and every individual who literally threw it into the stands, had no clue where even home plate was. But I think your prime minister will do very well. We're all delighted that he's coming. This is the first visit that he's had to the White House, and although it's not it's not a grand state visit with all the bells and whistles, he will be having a press conference, which is a rather rare thing for President Biden. He's only had 9, I believe, with leaders in his time, but we're looking forward to it. I'll be there, and we can't wait for the questions that come to both leaders of our great democracies.
It's interesting. I mentioned there Ronald Reagan. Everybody talks about the kind of Thatcher-Reagan relationship, and it was significant. It was huge, and for many reasons, not least what was happening in the USSR and the like, and the Iron Curtain, all of those things that we all now know about. And they managed, even though there were some behind the scenes, which we now know, but certainly it was there was something you could, I think, be a special relationship. That's never been fully replicated since then. There was, of course, Tony Blair and Bush, but even so, nothing like the 1980s, as some would say.
Well, I mean, the ultimate was Churchill and FDR.
True.
And Winston loved Franklin's martinis, and that's been recorded. And I can imagine they had a good old time. Yeah. And he did Lend-Lease, and then it took the Japanese. Roosevelt could get all the support he needed from those who didn't want to go to war, who were what we call the isolationists. But we became, and we've always been great friends. And we look forward to this conference and this game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And who knows? Maybe the prime minister will catch a foul ball, or maybe he'll go out there and knock him dead.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he is, as you say, he's quite he's a relatively young guy. He's a very fit guy. He doesn't drink. He works out. He's an absolute. He's got a happy disposition, which may or may not help. I don't know. He's a happy man in that respect. He's got a lot of problems. Thinking, if I mess this up, if I throw this thing and I look like a fool, then that's good. Every single tabloid newspaper in the land is going to be showing that. Prime Minister on his back.
Well, they've been showing Biden's little trip at the Air Force Academy, which is unfair. There was a sandbag on the thing. And when you talk about, I didn't want to bring this up for Biden because he's a very fit guy. I've known him for 30 years. He's slim, he moves well, and he's quite a guy. And the thing about this meeting, that really when you get down to the topics of what will be discussed, there's a war raging in Ukraine. We are our two best allies. We have, and I know you know this. Tomorrow is the I don't like to say anniversary, but is the commemoration of the invasion of Normandy. By troops that left from England. You remember Ike and Monty, and we did that, and it was called Operation Overlord. Mm-hmm. And we are very conscious in the States, and I know you Brits are as well, of if this NATO thing doesn't hold together and we don't succeed in getting the kind of support, and I know the Brits are doing this, for Ukraine, we may have another version of that, and we're going to have another dictator we have to go in and deal with. And that's always something you need to keep in mind, and that's why this alliance is extremely important on both sides of the ocean.
Yeah, comes at a very acute time for world politics. Jon-Christopher, thank you very much indeed for your time, sir. Enjoy that press conference with our Prime Minister and your President later this week. All of that covered fully, all the breaking stories, anything that